again. So here I am testing my modified motovlogging setup. I've done a few things differently. So one of the first things is the camera on my chin. Here I now have a GoPro Hero 8 Black, and I have taken my GoPro Hero 3 Black and mounted it onto my windshield here. And I've got them both controlled by the remote, the GoPro remote. And I have a Purple Panda microphone in my helmet, plugged into the GoPro Hero 8, using the media mod that's around it. To get the sound of my voice. To get the sound of the engine, I have been playing around with the different configurations, but the one that I describe is the Rode lavalier microphone, smartLav Plus, and it is tucked under the seat, under the passenger seat, and held in place, and it's connected to here, which is my Zoom H1N, which I've got jury rigged to stay in place on the tank. So with this now, I should be able to get a decent sound of the engine, the sound of my voice, my POV view from the helmet mount, and then the selfie view from the windshield mount. And so then from the selfie view, I get to articulate like this and look important, like I'm making a big important point about whatever it is I'm trying to say. So I'm just riding around suburban streets right now. I'm just going to take it out onto some freeway speed because I want some idea of whether I can dampen the wind noise into the helmet mount. What I've done is I've taken a neck warmer, a buff, and I've kind of wedged it in between the base of my helmet and my neck to try to buffer some of that wind. And the Purple Panda has the dead cat on it, and it's positioned fairly close to my mouth. I tried a couple different positions. I tried taking the dead cat off the Purple Panda and putting the microphone inside the cheek pad of my helmet, and that just made it way too muffled. So I get a better quality of my sound of my voice with the dead cat on close to my mouth, but then I run the risk of getting wind noise in my helmet. This is a relatively windy day, so it should be a good test, and I am hoping that the neck warmer will muffle some of that wind sound. It doesn't seem to be quite as bad to my ears in the helmet, but once we get up to speed, we'll get a better idea. And if this all works, then I have a go-to motovlog setup. So the wind noise in my helmet, I don't know, subjectively to my ears it doesn't seem as bad. I don't know how that's going to translate into the microphone. The other thing is I've got my GoPro Hero 8 on my chin connected to my power bank, so it gives me lots of recording time. It's only going to be dependent upon the size of the SD card. And then I've got my Hero 3 plugged into the USB port down here, so it has constant power. So that will hopefully circumvent the pathetically short battery life of the GoPros for recording. Tell you, this motovlogging stuff is a lot of work. It's a lot of experimentation, but I'm hoping that with the experimentation I'll get a setup that will be consistent and reliable. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your day and safe riding. So this is how I set up the Rode smartLav mic. I put it under the seat here, and you might be able to see I've got it with a black dead cat here, and I got it sort of just sticking through this bracket for the back seat, and it's not really touching anything. And I got the wire comes through, and I've got it taped in place so that it's kind of suspended there. And then if I were to put this all together like this, let's get this in place like so. I just will then tape this down so it's held in place, and then I can put the back seat back on like so, and it's on there. And then what I do is I run the wire through here along underneath the seat. It comes back up, and it just nicely, I don't know if you can see it, it nicely fits in this groove along the tank. And so then I run it up here, tape it down so it doesn't go flying off, then it comes down, I plug it into the Zoom H1N. And the way I mounted the Zoom is I rigged up a clip from a piece of measuring tape actually, and what that does is screws on to the back where the camera mount is, so the whole thing will slide in. And because I have this sort of pressure fit of my tank bag holder, I just lift it up, slide it down, and it's good and stable and in place. And then I can control it. I can control the settings on the microphone while I'm actually on the bike without actually having to get off and lift the seat up and everything like that. So that's how I set up the sound for the engine.